Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Write or Die Show. I'm your host, Randi-lee. On the show, we interview other writers and we talk about mental health from their personal journeys. If you have not already hit that like and subscribe button, go ahead, do that now so that you never miss an episode.
Hello, everybody. How we doing? It was snowy the last couple days, which is distraughting. Yes, that's my new word, distraughting. I just made it up. You can use it. I'm sharing with the world. So today with us, and I looks like your name is a regular sounding name. However, I usually ask no matter what how to say it, but I didn't. So hopefully it's just Sheila K. Collins.
Right.
Perfect. Love that. No matter how easy it looks, I usually ask because you just never know. How are you? I love your glasses, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I
Love
finally
them.
gotten over my not liking glasses because they have such cool ones now. I mean,
They do. These are ones, right now they're just boring, but these are the ones where you change the tops.
mm,
So I have
oh,
lots of them. So tell us a little bit about who Sheila is.
oh my gosh. Well, I'm an old person. I mean, quite a very old. And I'm not complaining. I'm bragging because many people that are my generation are not here with us anymore. So
Nice.
I say I get another day and I have good health. So all of that is good. But yeah, so you are mentioning about you're interested in writers and you're interested in mental health, and boy, that is kind of my central theme, I guess. So I started out as a dancer, and then I became a dancing social worker, using what I knew from my dance life with my students and my clients, and then because of the things that were happening in my life took me to be interested in grief, so much loss and so much grief, and the connection really to mental health and mental illness. Sometimes people get so much it's overwhelming and you just kind of check out or something. So I'm really interested in your putting that mental health and then writing, and I learn more about it when I'm writing. I'm just and I'm making it
Yes.
clear to other people what it is going on in my brain. So,
Right? I always say I express myself better in writing than in talking, even though I love to talk, because you could process, right? Processing is very helpful, especially with big emotions like grief. So we're just gonna dive right in. Start your story wherever makes the most sense because it's a big story and I know that. And I will just randomly butt in
okay.
and interrupt you.
Okay, I love that. Yes, I love that. In fact, I had a friend, and her name was Rose, and she used to say, "I'll talk, you interrupt," or the other way around. So this is very
I
familiar
love
with me,
that.
Randy Lee. I'm,
Perfect, because that is what
I'm
I do.
right at home here. Yes,
Perfect.
absolutely, absolutely. So I guess if I talk about my writing journey, I wrote a book many years ago on self care, and for caregivers actually.
Oh,
And I was running a clinic. I'm a social worker, as I mentioned. So my husband and I, he's a psychologist. We had a clinic, and we published this book. And I have to say, it wasn't a big, a lot of people buy the book. I mean, really, it was it was nice to have, but anyway, but
right. Welcome to being an indie author.
exactly. So, but in my journey as an author, I was promoting another book, and some people said, "You need to go back and redo that book because there's way more caregivers now than there was then." And
There
so,
is. There is.
absolutely. It was not going to be fun at all to rewrite every sentence because by then I was a better writer and I didn't like any of it. So, but fortunately, I found a dear friend who's more your age, and I thought, well, if I did it with her, it would really be fun.
Right.
And it's funny because she was with me on another book, and people would say to her, "When are you going to write your book?" And she said, "Well, I don't know. Spirit hasn't told me yet." And so she's kind of just waiting to see what's going to come. And so I wake up one morning. I think I want to do this with Christine. So I call her up, and so I said, "Well, I guess Spirit told me what your next book's going to be."
Oh, that's funny. I like that. I like that. And you do have one of your books in your background there, The Art of Grieving, which is one that I've already reviewed. So everybody go check out the review on my blog or on the podcast what I'm reading, and then you'll see that it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to reiterate what's already in there. People go read it. But it's a book about grieving. And my favorite part about these types of books is when people share their own stories in there. And yours kind of breaks my heart.
Oh, well, yeah, but that's like tender, right? I mean, when we talk about heartbreak, it's not always, oh, woe is me, this is terrible. It's, sometimes you get tears in your eyes when you're young for this, but when your granddaughters, I mean, you can't help it. You're tearful. Your heart is breaking.
Exactly.
So, that is, yeah. So, yeah, I was kind of giving the background of how I got to this book, because the book that I did, Warrior Mother, Fierce Love, Unbearable Loss.
Oh, I like the name of that.
Yeah, Warrior Mother, Fierce Love, Unbearable Loss, and the Rituals That Heal. And it was really writing about much of the loss that was happening in our family. I mentioned Rose, my best friend, and I was with her during the time that she crossed, and it was such a gift because I learned so much from that. And my son died of AIDS right at the time when they were just figuring it out, and he was on the trial, but maybe he didn't have the one that worked for him anyway. But
there's a lot going on with that.
Yeah, it's the way it works with diseases. They try different things, and they find the answer, but sometimes it's too late for our particular loved ones. So anyway, so with him, and then Rose, and then our daughter died of breast cancer. Most people don't, but she did, and she had a rare form. She had a rare kind, and so after you have that much loss, for me,
that's a lot.
You have to, as you said, process.
Yes.
And fortunately, I got into a writers group with a wonderful teacher and I said to him, he had us meet first to see if we could connect, and I said, I mean, they're way better writers than I am. I mean, they were. So, but he said to me, well, Sheila, it's like tennis. That's how you get better. You play with people that are better than you. So
right? You can't be the best unless you play against the best.
Well, and so the Warrior, I just will show you Warrior Mother because I'm pretty proud of it, and did win an award. So.
Very pretty, yeah.
So then what I was doing was going kind of around the country and I do improvisational theater. So we were doing theater things with this book.
So I'm going to interrupt again. When I was little, I was going to be a famous actor. I love theater, all things theater. I remember grade 8 drama class, and we did this improvisation game. And it was so much fun, the improv. They'd be like, here's an object, but it's not really a bottle, so you have to decide what it is. And there would be like a line of us in the class, and so you'd have to, it's a telephone, and you'd hand it to the next person, do it. So when I was reading your book, and you're talking about like the different improv things using for grief, I was like, oh, I didn't think of that, but oh. So anyways, love all things theater.
And Randi-lee, the thing about that is it becomes lighter. It becomes lighter. Sometimes we get so heavy, serious. And so to be lighter, about it. And but what I found was that people were afraid of this. They were even afraid to invite anybody because they would say, well, I don't know if it's the right time for her. And I'm thinking, well, why don't you ask her? I mean, come on.
Right?
We are all so worried about hurting someone's feelings or saying the wrong thing or all this. So that's why I wrote this book, because I know that when I look at what helped me and has helped a lot of other people is the arts and music and dancing and stories especially. You know, what I tell people when they say I don't know what to say to someone, and I say, ask them to tell you about their loved one. They love to talk about that because it brings the person into the room. It brings them
Exactly. Exactly. We want to remember them as being that, that person or whatever. So, many of the viewers will know, but you may not know. I lost my brother 4 years ago now. Yeah, 4 years ago, to a drug overdose. And I will still, because to me, I'm the little sister, although I'm actually the older sister now. This is my inside joke with my brother. And that's just it. People will be like, oh, what? That's rude to say, because he would have, but I said, but he's not. He's still 37 and will always be. And now I'm 38. And, that's the way it is. And I process it with some humor. That's my grieving. And that, is totally okay.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Right? So I'm the older sister.
Your brother would really appreciate it too. I imagine that he had some bit of a sense of humor himself.
Well, exactly. It's not like I'm doing anything that he'd be like, "What? How dare you?" No, I'm keeping his spirit alive by still being that annoying little pain in the ass. And I feel like that is important in how we grieve, and everybody's going to grieve differently. And I think that's so important that everybody grieves differently, which is why I love these books.
Yes, absolutely. Well,
Okay, I'll shut up again.
I have a little tiny story to tell from what you said. So I was in Brazil, and I met two women who were from Ireland. And so when they knew that I was doing grief, books and everything, they said, "Oh, well, our mother, she's very popular in Ireland. She's invited to a lot of funerals because she's got the crack." And I said, "Crack? Like crack cocaine?" "No, the wise crack." So
yes.
She would be invited to
come
because she can tell stories in a way that lightens things up, that lightens us all.
I love that. Yeah, when after my brother had died or whatever, my mom was talking about how when she dies, she does not want it to be all this sad tears and stuff. She's like, I want people to be dancing when they come in, and I like music, I like dancing, I like all that stuff. I don't want it to be all sad. Like, yeah, it's sad, but, and I'm like, okay, well, you better pick your playlist then.
Well, that's exactly good, Randi-lee. That's a good idea, and I'm working on mine right now. And because
Perfect.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, we this group. I do something called interplay, and it's based in dance. It's based in the body, but then we do singing and storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of our dearest longtime interplayers died last year, and he had it out. All his playlist. He wanted this, like he wanted this person to do this form on this theme, and so we're all going to copy off of him because he said,
yeah.
Well, it was like he was calling the show from the other side.
Exactly. I mean, I haven't got that far, but that's what I want to do with mine. I just want to plan it because you know what? I'm kind of bossy and controlling. Shocking. And so even when I'm gone, I would like to be bossy and controlling.
Right, absolutely. Well, and it would be a gift to everyone else because people don't know what to do unless you tell them.
It's so devastating. So speaking of that, you lost 2 children. Did you have, I can't remember, did you only have the 2 or did you have?
No, I have one still here.
Okay, that's what I thought. I thought you had 3. And that that must be absolutely devastating as a parent. I can only imagine. Obviously you use interplay and some of these other things. So tell the listeners, especially at this time of year when people might be thinking of people who have lost as we go into the holidays.
Right.
Share some of your techniques.
I have lots of techniques.
I know.
I do.
Almost like a whole book worth.
Well, a couple of books worth, actually. Yes, absolutely. But okay, so you have your Thanksgiving dinner or your Christmas dinner, whatever it is. So you make sure that you do some kind of recipe that was like your brother or something that reminds you of your brother, and tell stories about him. Bring him into the room in terms of, because we our memories are really, we can bring them up at any time, right?
Exactly.
And then we can celebrate. That's really celebrating the person that we had in our lives. And yes, we miss them, and that's fine. We can grieve them. What I think happens, and maybe it hasn't started to happen yet for you, but after a time, it becomes sweet sorrow. It becomes, some things will come to me about my son. Just something will remind me, and I love being reminded of him, because he was he was a theater, musical comedy theater person, and
yes,
and you would probably like this. So his he was in, when he died he was 31, but when he was in college he was in his 20s, and so his theater teacher had some videos of him.
Oh, you shared this in your book, right? Yes.
He gave to us, and so at his celebration of life, he sang his 20-year-old self sang, "Consider yourself at home, consider yourself one of the family, da 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 da." I mean, so that's the thing to think about, I guess, Randi-lee, if you want to do some recording of yourself to have for your production.
Well, the great thing for me is I have all these episodes. I can just take little bits of it.
Wow, that's true. You can get the advice of all the people that you've spoken to.
Mm-hmm. Right? And that's what's kind of nice, like, in this day and age, is that there's so much where people are taking photos, like, all the time, and, like, little videos so you can hear them. I mean, I didn't really have that with my brother, but that's a whole other story, and you can go read about it. But, back in the day, once they were gone, not that they were gone because they're in your memories, and you might have some photos, but now, like, there's videos you can watch and stuff, because we are so digital right now, and everything is there.
It's true. In fact, I've started doing, one of my wishes that I really wanted to do was to have a retreat, an art of grieving retreat. And so I was able to, so that we could do the storytelling through using the forms of interplay and people moving together, and but also art making, because my book is the art of grieving, how art and art making live our best lives. So I did it in conjunction with two organizations that have art making, and so we were able to make mosaics, for example. We could make a piece. I think I can even show you and tell you. So this was a mosaic I made, and it represents each of my.
Pretty.
For me, it represents each of my siblings, because I was the oldest of 6, and I am.
Oh, wow.
I am the only one left. So, and then in the center is a mushroom. So, anyway, that notion of having something that you can hold in your hands, or sit on your desk, or on your altar, or your place of,
right.
And so I'm fascinated with that. I'm also, my brother just died not too long ago. He and I were the last two, and we were the oldest in the family. But he was a potter. And so it's amazing. One of his students said, well, a potter, their fingerprints are on every cup. So true. And so there's that energy and their love of what they're doing, So,
yeah.
So people, many of my friends, they wanted a piece of his work. I mean, so, yeah. So different arts have different gifts, is what
Exactly. Yeah, I was trying to see if I could post it, but it won't let me because I don't know how to do that yet. Technology. Anyways, my brother, he was artist, like drawing amazing. And so I've used some of his stuff. Oh yeah. We don't have a lot of it left over from,
Mhm.
just the years or whatever, but we've taken some of that and I've put it on some of my merch in like the merch store so that and then I donate back to Canadian Mental Health Association when those pieces
Mhm.
are chosen. And that way,
Good.
again, it's that keeping memory alive. And they're really nice pictures, so might as well not waste them.
Absolutely. And taking his message further, his art further. That's what it feels like
Right?
for me with my brother in terms of sharing the pieces. Yes,
Yes, that's
absolutely. Well, and so
very tough.
there's another when you're a writer and you bring your book out and then there's another one that sounds like it might be like yours and you're thinking, uh-oh, I didn't get my book out soon enough, maybe this is so okay, so I have to tell you about this book because I'm gonna grab it here if I
Yeah,
can.
let's see it.
It's oh my gosh, don't tell me I can't reach it. Come on. Here it is, Your Brain on Art. Your,
Oh,
you know about this book? Oh, how
I do
art,
not.
and this is how the arts transform us. Okay, well, I could relax after I realized it was not a book like mine, which is stories of actual, you know, I have stories of different people and, different situations. This is science. This is John
Oh,
Hopkins University, and you probably are aware now that
oh,
they can see what's happening in our brains without operating on us,
yeah,
or even putting in one of those scanners. They have some
yes.
portable ones now. So if you and I were walking in a museum, for example, and they'd be able to see what we're looking at, and they would be able to see what it does to our brain, what's lighting up. And it might be different for
Ah,
you than it is for me. I don't know.
yeah,
But that notion of, or if when I did this, when I made this mosaic, my brain was lighting up in a different way than it is when I'm just telling you about it.
yeah.
And so this is so exciting because here's what this means. It means that the arts are actually medicine and we can dose. You can dose and I can dose.
Yes,
So like
yes.
a friend of mine who's been sort of down and she's around a lot of people that are really down. I'm telling her she's got to get different friends. But I mean, really, no, I mean, it's hard to be around a lot of people that are really
It
low.
is that you are a collection of those around you.
Oh my gosh. So that's what it is. She's living in this facility where the people are not very peppy. Let's put it that way.
Mm.
And so, so I'm telling her that. She found this video. To your point, she found this
Yes.
video about Wicked and the two leads in Wicked singing together a song about uh, joy and happiness. And she said it just filled her up, and she felt her chest just she was breathing differently. So I said, Cindy, this is it. Your brain on art. When you got
Yes.
down, you want to get out that music, play it, watch it. She also saw it on video, so you're getting a visual, you're
Yes.
getting the auditory, and we're very much just very affected by even the beat of something or the rhythm of it. It changes our brains. Yeah.
Exactly. I find like with music, if I'm just like, and then I start listening to music, then you start getting all pumped up and doing your thing, right? Like that's art, right? And it's so funny because art, I hear the word art, and I think a lot of people do this. You hear the word art and you're thinking, oh, you're drawing or painting. There's so much to it. There's so many things. And there was something I remember I was reading in your book. I can't remember which one it was though, but there was because I love how like basically each chapter is like a different art form.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. Yes.
and there was one that I was like, huh, I never considered that. And in the heat of the moment right now, I can't think of what that was. But I remember that moment of going, huh, which is really cool because, I mean, yes, it's about grief and using art, but it's also expanding your mind of what art really means. There's so much to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, and then the other part, the one thing we always have to overcome is that part of us that said, "Oh well, I'm not really, I mean, I'm not really an
Yeah.
artist, or I'm not," or you could say, "I'm not as good. I don't draw as good as my brother." So
Right.
you put yourself down and think you can't do that. Uh,
We do that all the time to ourselves. So
yeah.
much. Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
always have to get over that. And what I tell people is it's not about that. It's not about creating something that you're going to sell on. Maybe you would, but if you can practice until you get good at it.
Right. Yep.
But mostly it's going to be you're going to reveal something to yourself about yourself. So that
Yes.
when I do particularly when I do anything with my voice, um, I was a dancer, and I would sometimes have to sing as part of my profession, but I
Yeah.
was always real shaky about it, and so that's my voice is my shaky part, and so, but as I play with it and I just try it out, um, I listen and I find out how I am, how I really
Mm.
am. So if I can hear something in my voice maybe that I'm not aware of in my brain. I'm not taking note of it until I hear it. So
Yeah.
again, my background, my ancestors are Irish and Scottish, and they do this keening where they just kind of, in fact, they would hire older women to do this. They was like, like you might
Oh.
hire the florist or might hire
Yeah.
the pianist or the organist or something. They would hire these women to just make these sounds, and maybe they were woeful sounds and just really, but expressing that part of the loss for the community, so
Yeah.
that it felt very cathartic, I think is the word, for everyone.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I've been exploring that, and then also I know that there's a there are they're called threshold choirs, and
Okay.
these are people that would come to the bedside, and they might know something about the person, what songs they like, and they would be singing to them.
Okay.
Yes, and it's so cool, and so often that makes a container that holds the person, sort of like
Mhm.
rocking a baby, or doing a lullaby to a baby, or that we're all
Yeah.
we're all wired like that. We're all wired like that. So because
Yes.
one of the things you have to do to get out of here, you have to, if you're in a lot of pain and you're all tense, you can't really leave. It's kind of like trying to go to sleep. You
Yeah.
can't do it. So so
Yeah.
you have to have people to help with. So I had one family that their mother was a jazz expert. She loved
Oh.
jazz, and so it's time for her to leave, and she's not saying anything, but she's kind of restless. So they get out some music that's her music, and and,
Yes.
and they weren't sure if she could hear it, or because she wasn't talking or anything. And then they said they noticed her foot was just going tapping right there
Oh.
in the music, just right there. And then at some point she just let go. She just let go.
Wow. That's that's very cool. I love jazz. Well, I shouldn't say love. I like jazz. My kid loves jazz. Um, and there is this group, I don't know if you've heard of them, Postmodern Jukebox.
Oh, I love the
They
name.
right?
It's a great
They
name.
take they take songs of like now, but they play them in old school styles. So like
Oh.
1920s jazz or like 1950s. It is so very cool. Um, I love them. We've seen them twice in concert now. So cool. But yeah, music is just like I love it. I love that so much. Um, oh my goodness, we've already chit-chatted for 30 minutes now. What the heck? Where does the time go? Um, so on that note, we've been talking about your book, but before we talk more about it, um, what would you tell somebody right now? What piece of wisdom would you tell somebody who is just experience a pretty big loss of some kind, because grief comes in different forms. I mean, we have pretty much stayed on topic of losing loved ones because we have that in common. But I mean, grief comes in many different forms. Loss of a job, loss of a house, or having to move, or loss of an animal. So what would you tell somebody who is experiencing a pretty significant loss of any kind?
For them, because like you know,
Yes.
some people don't understand when you lose a dog, but well, it's just a dog. No, it's
Oh,
not.
I
It's
will be taking days off work when my dog dies.
well, and this is a being that sits in your lap or comes
Right.
over to you, who's with you way more than your children or your friends or you know. So of course that's going to be a huge loss because
Yeah.
they were with you almost every breath you took.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, that. But it's true. A lot of times people, what I think is that people don't recognize that they're grieving. You can have you can have these feelings and you think, well, where is this coming from? Or buck up, old girl, or something. You know?
Right?
And
Yeah.
and until you really recognize, hey, this is grief and this is important, and because I think what grief teaches us is what really matters. So I know in my first book I wrote about a loss that was my career. So
Yes.
you know,
That's big.
I it was an 8 year journey to get tenure at the university, and they pushed me through every year. One more year, here we go, and at the last minute, oh, deal's off. You're not going to get
Which
it.
is insane. That
And
is,
and
oh,
even though I had an 8-1 vote in my favor, that didn't matter because they just changed the rules and said no, no. And anyway,
devastating.
oh,
But you're here now, so it's fine.
well, but here's the thing. I did a ritual. I made a ritual in my
Oh,
backyard. And I
okay.
invited those 8 people that voted for me. I knew who they were. I knew who the guy was that didn't. He wasn't invited. But I also invited my family members and my friends who had, because when you go through a goal that you know, they're cheering you on, they're helping you in many ways, and so they were
Yeah.
disappointed too. So we had a big thing in the backyard. We, you know, and just a ceremony, and I burned a lot of stuff in this big, you know, a lot of papers, all those grants I wrote, and all those, you know,
Right, all the things.
all the things, yeah, and then just wonderful. I mean, I still have great memories of that. So in the midst of this really big loss, I know that there was another side to it. And one of
Mm.
my supervisor, what she said was that she said, "Well, you know, yeah, you're joining a big company of people, including Einstein, who did not get tenure. Nobody would sign off on his tenure on his paper because they didn't
How did I know
understand
that?
it."
I
So
didn't know that.
and so I think people didn't they didn't understand me. That's what I think now. So
Right, like it tracks. It tracks.
anyway, so I don't have to, you know, there was a kind of freedom too in terms of, you know, that if you, and when I, many times, Randi-lee, in my life, I think, where would I be if I were still at the university now? Look what I'd be missing because I wouldn't be able to do any of this.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it just, I wasn't supposed to be there. It was like, no, no, that isn't where I was supposed to be. But how do you get to the other side of that? But especially if you're mad, you know?
Right, like in the moment you can't see the other side. In the moment you're like, but I've lost this. And
Yeah,
it's heartbreaking, but yeah.
yeah, yeah. There's also another side to it, though.
Exactly. A silver lining, hopefully. That's what they say.
No, that,
Um, there's a
I,
song, a country song. What is it? Uh, by Darius Rucker, I think.
hmm,
And it's like I'm so grateful or whatever for the missed opportunities. Like, oh, I hit the red light and you're so mad at hitting the red light, but that's okay because something else happened good later. I
mm-hmm,
cannot remember the song for the life of me, but anybody who figures it out, put the name in the comments down below because it's gonna bug me now. And then I'm probably gonna
mm-hmm.
think about it at like 2 in the morning.
Well, and that's another example of the truth of like some of the songs.
Yes.
It gets to you because it has a melody and a rhythm, you know.
Right.
So you remember. You don't remember exactly the details, but you
Right.
got the message. You got the
Exactly.
message,
And I got the feelings of it. It gives the
and you got
feelings.
the truth of it, that there are no losses without gains.
Exactly. Yes. All right. So, I mean, we've already talked about your book, but give everyone a little bit brief, since we've already kind of discussed it, what the book is, where they pick it up, that kind of thing.
Well, I hope it's everywhere, but I don't know.
It should be.
And actually, I can make an announcement here. I have
Ooh.
I have the book that you hold in your hand, the
Yeah.
paperback. I do have an audiobook, and I want to say something. Or I have a not an the audiobook is about to come out. That was what I was going to say. It's about to
Ooh.
come out because some people like to listen to books, you know. Yeah. So that's coming out. The other thing I want to mention about the electronic copy. So maybe your audience is aware of this, but I was not. It's very recent, only in the last year and a half, that you could put a lot of pictures in your electronic
Mm.
colored photographs. So
Yes.
my friend and I went through our pictures, and put and found things that illustrate what I'm talking about, and
Yes.
and artful things that match. So I'm very proud of that, and I was really thrilled. And that is the version that version won an award.
Oh, I love that. I mean, pictures are fun. And it goes so well because, I mean, pictures are art, and the book is art, and the whole thing's about art.
Well, and switches us to the other side of our brain.
Yes.
Words tend to be on one side, but the visual, and we have become a very visual culture.
Yes. Yes, we have. Oh my goodness. I can't stop yawning now. It's the end of my day. Um,
There you go. I've worn you out.
You have. I mean, being exciting and talking, it is very tiresome. So yes, you did say you can get it anywhere. And it is called The Art of Grieving,
Yes.
by
And
Sheila
you
K.
can
Collins.
and you can find me SheilaKCollins.com. Yes, and I have a lot of videos on my
Oh,
website,
okay.
so you can do that. I'm not selling my book. I'm letting the booksellers sell my book. So
Yes.
Amazon, and if you have any place to support your local ones, please ask them, because I would love to have them carry my book too. And
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's then the other thing I want to mention is that I am doing these retreats. I've done one, and it was so
Okay.
fun and great. So if you have an interest, or if anybody has an interest in that, I'll be doing one in May, and I'll be like spring, and
Oh, okay. Very nice.
be in touch with me about that if you are interested in the idea of just doing a whole art thing about grief. We would tell stories. We would be someplace in a lovely. Where I did the first one was with Touchstone Center for the Arts in the mountainous area of Pennsylvania, which is absolutely
Oh,
beautiful. And we also connected to
nice.
the Ruins Project, which is an old coal mine, and this artist, this mosaic artist, has brought in her mosaic artists from around the world, I think. And so they've
Oh, very cool.
mosaiced all this cement that's standing up. It's what's left of the coal mine. It's been out of business for 100 years, so it's the
Oh,
ruins.
wow.
And it's a tribute to the coal people who died there in the coal mines, and that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
So that it's fabulous.
Wow.
So and then it looks like I'm probably going to do one in New Mexico, maybe in next year, because that's where my brother's peaks are.
Oh, very
So,
nice.
so
Yeah.
anyway, just be in touch with me about that if people are interested in the notion of doing an art of grieving retreat where we also make art. Get the opportunity to just make some art.
Oh, I love that. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. And I mean, you've already said your website, but are you on any social medias for people to follow?
Oh my gosh, yes. I have Christine Gautreau, who is the co-author of my book on that other book anyway. It's no point. The one that I told you that we redid, and it's about
Yes.
and Randy, we are on every Tuesday. We are online with that book, and we go through some of it, and then we go through some more, trying to get it in us that we have to take care of ourselves, and here's some ways we can do it. So, and I'm also doing that with this book. I'm doing this once a month. I'm getting on and just going through one of the chapters, and
That's amazing.
about
So where, I mean, you're saying you're getting on, but where are you getting on to? What platform?
It's a Zoom. It's a Zoom.
Oh, okay. You're doing like a Zoom meet. Very cool.
Yeah. It's a Zoom meeting. The one that's for self-care is on every Tuesday at 11:30 Eastern time, at 11:30 to 12:30, and the other one is once a month. And I'm thinking maybe that's not. We should probably do it more often because But anyway, right now we're just playing with the idea of taking a book and going through one chapter and then bringing in whatever our stories are about that, and using the art of storytelling for sure, and visuals. You were talking. People have pictures, so they'll put their pictures on the Zoom that we can see the picture of something that was meaningful to them. So,
I love it. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Poor Sheila, she was supposed to be on in October, and I got so crazy sick, and we had to postpone. But thank you so much for doing it. I had zero voice that day. It was horrible. It was so, it was bad. So thank you.
I probably had more to say now than I would have had then. So,
well, see, then it works. It's perfect. So thank you everybody for joining us. Make sure you share these episodes out, hit the like and subscribe button, do all the things. If you have any questions, throw them in the comments down below. Somebody figure out what that song is called, please, and put it in the comments down below. I'm almost 100% that it was a Darius Rucker song, but I'll figure it out. And remember, the only way to end the stigma of mental health is to speak openly and honestly. Bye!
bye-bye.